change your jets. So I'm doing it from start to finish, so at least you can get a bit of a feel on what they're like to work on. People who don't like carbs, I don't know why, they're all about EFI. I love the carbs. You know, it's they're romantic, aren't they? You know, you're not sitting on a laptop looking at a map, which, you know, a map is essentially just the settings, isn't it? Okay. So we'll take out the jet housing, or the block, whatever you call it. What do you call it? I don't know. These are OA stamped. You get OA and OB, I think. Okay. Okay. So see in here. You unwind it. See that there? That's the air jet that goes in the top of there. So there's the main. Now they've got numbers, right? Now the numbers correlate to, it's essentially a metric system. So this is a 155, that means it's a 0.155 millimetre hole. Or sorry, 1.55 millimetre hole. So what I've done, I've pulled out the old Mikuni system book. It gives you factory recommendations. Now I've just had a look through and found a 37 choke being here, oddly enough, for the carbs, these carbs here. It's a set, which, where are we? Here, Nissan Z44550. That's actually what this set that I've got in is purchased from Sam 280Z in America, from Hybrid Z. 37 wants to run 155 mains with a 200 air. Now guess what? we were running a 155 air with a 160 main. That'll explain why it's running rich. So now I'm going to go to probably a 200 air and leave the 160 main jet. Now what that's going to do is it's going to suck less fuel, even though we're not changing the fuel. It was described to me, it's like sucking a straw. And if you stick a straw down into a glass and you suck it, but you have holes in the straw, you're not going to suck as much because you're going to be sucking air through. It's like a, oh geez, what do they call them? A shot hole. Is it a shot hole in the smoking apparatuses? I don't know, I'm not into that sort of stuff, so, you know, not for me. But anyway, these just all come out. Eventually. When you've got big Gumby hands like me, it makes it a bit harder. Now, one of the most important tools you can have when working on your car and the wife has gone out and the kids are in bed is this little bad boy here, the baby monitor. So that's in the house, that's in the nursery. So that's That's keeping me out of trouble with the boss, isn't it? Now, as you can see, we want to take all of these out. Now, I could stop filming, but that's not going to be much fun if I miss something out. Now this is a bit awkward because of the way I'm doing it. Look, if you had a spare set of these, you could pre-do them, right? So, actually that's not a bad idea. You could pre-do them, and all you do, you could go to a meet, you could have set up another set of jet blocks, pull in to the grid, quickly whip it off, because this is what takes time. You whip these caps off and pull them out and put the other ones in, you'll be in and out in 2 minutes, I reckon. 2 minutes. You know, you can do this while the engine's hot, because you're not gonna hurt yourself, you're not gonna get burnt. I dare say, back in the day when these were the carbs of choice for the racing team, I dare say that's probably what they did. They would have had it all ready to rock and roll. So what I'll do, I'll put these 155s away. As you can see, it pays to have a selection of jets as I have here. So air, 155s go in here. That's what we're taking out. So you try and label it as best you can so you can keep track of everything. 2, 4, 6, you know where everything is. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll go some airs. We've got some 200 airs. Let's try some 200 airs, huh? Now, I learnt pretty early on, you can actually do these up pretty tight. Brass is actually a lot stronger than people think. Because I work in R&D, we do a lot of work with brass. Brass is pretty darn strong. We get an M5 screw on one of our strength tests, and we screw it into a brass cylinder, and we'll put what is it? 11 kilonewton. Now, basically, it works out to it's over 1,000 kilos. Now we've also taken it higher than that. So you know you can get an M5 screw, 5mm metric standard screw, and you can pick up this whole car with that. You can pick up this entire car with that thread. So don't underestimate how strong these brass fittings are. Bit of a nip up. Geez, I'd love to have a second set. That'd be awesome. If anyone can hook me up, probably go to Wolf Creek Racing. They'd probably have it, but that's over in the States. If there's someone local, Lou Mondello, maybe, I don't know. I've usually got a fair selection of Mikuni parts, but I don't have any more of these. I've got the other set. Now let me just double check they're all 200s. All good, all good. Now, alright, now, this was much nicer when I was in the park. Geez, it was hot today. Driving this thing in the heat, it's not nice. Remember the first time we took this car to the track, we went to Sandown, and it was pretty much came straight. This was a paddock bomb, this car. It spent 7 years as a paddock bomb. It was a daily driver. He stopped using it, put it in a barn, and used it to drive around in his paddock. Now, we bought it. What did we do? We put on a set of semi-slicks, put an exhaust on it, and took it racing, because that's what you do, isn't it, yeah? Well, wow. Was I going somewhere with that story? I don't know. Got no idea, to be honest. Not even I'm interested in my own stories. How depressing is that? Okay. Put the covers back on. You could probably just run it now if you wanted. because they're running at atmospheric pressure inside the top of the carb there, or at least the pressure of the in front. So if there's a vacuum in front, there'll be the equal vacuum inside. That's why inside the box here you got those holes. Weathers have them as well. You know, you don't want to have more pressure, a higher pressure on top of the jets than what's in the Venturis. So, you know what? If this was Bathurst or something like that, this would be the world's slowest pit stop. But I'm not convinced that they'd strap an iPhone to the windscreen and video themselves doing it. Well, you know what? We're done. We're done. We've officially just changed the jets. That wasn't so bad. Wow, yes it was. 14 minutes. Okay, now we've changed our air jets there. I'm going to start it up, just have a bit of a look-see, check that everything's okay. Okay, with this new tune, mind you, you know, temperature is down on the oil there. See how at idle, because we're running an underrun pulley on the harmonic balancer, you rev it up, it'll come up to 14 volts. But at idles, you know, this is cold and it idles quite nice under 1,000. Now that's what we're after there. That was running, what was it at idling at? Probably much the same to be honest, but give it a rev. Yeah, don't know, undecided. We've got to drive it, hey. So we'll find out tomorrow, but it runs okay. Righto, still playing with jetting and trying to get a nice mixture. I'm starting to rev it a bit more now. You can really feel the cam. So 3,000, still a bit lumpy for 3.5, 4. It just smooths out, it just starts to drive really smooth and just wants to pull really nicely. So obviously the idea is to keep it in the band between 4 and 7. Sounds good to me. Not on these roads. Feel the cam, that's for sure. There it comes. And that was sitting on about 14 to 1. Air fuel up that hill between 4 and 7. I don't know whether you can hear it, but you can really feel it open up. So you can hear it lumpy, 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 smooth. So it's pretty cammy, pretty cammy. Look, but in saying that, it's not a pig. It's not a pig to drive. It actually just sounds like it's missing. So, it's far from a pig to drive. Very smooth. feels torquey. Feels good. So you definitely feel it wants to boogie. I can't wait to get it on the track. Very smooth. The 7 doesn't feel like it drops off in power at all. So that's a good thing. Don't ask me when I change what it drops to, but no, I think that's probably a better tune at the minute. Also, of course, it's going to be good because I'm revving it. Look, pretty happy with that.